I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of October 21st, 2024 to order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones?
Present.
Vice President Williams?
Present.
Commissioner Darrow?
Present.
Commissioner Richard? Present. Commissioner Luca? Here. Commissioner Stone?
Present.
Manager Patton? Here.
This meeting, like all others, will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube where it can be watched any place, anytime, anywhere. Do I hear a motion to approve the workshop meetings of October 14th?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Tax Collector.
Can you hear me? There we go. Sorry about that. Hi, everybody. I'm Clayton Stoop. I'm the Treasurer Tax Collector for Aleppo Township. Commissioners, in your packet, you should have received the September 2024 tax collection. We ended up collecting $35,470.65 in total taxes for the month. On pages 3 and 4 of your report, you can see the comparison of September 2024 to September of 2023. We also did a year-to-date to the budget amount, and as you can see, we are doing quite well. We're about $72,000, almost $73,000 over budget, with 3 months still to go. However, much more will be coming in the last 3 months of the year. Also, as far as the ending account balances, our checking account has $353,964.43. Our state fund, all of our investment accounts now, the state fund has $90,271.38. The general investment fund has $1,344,929.86. The reserve fund has $125,232.85, and our capital improvement fund has $1,304,512.07. When you add that all up, it's about $3,218,910.89 in total monies on hand. However, a lot of that is for pledged and or targeted funds. When you subtract that out, our net operating funds are $1,698,894.29. And then we have our sewer bond account, which has $989,393, and our stormwater account has $381,401.43. Any questions about September 2024?
Are there any questions from either the commissioners or the audience?
Well, if there are any, please let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you. I have to go this evening, so thank you. Have a good evening.
Oh. Police report?
All right, good evening, everyone. For the month of September, we had a total of 69 calls, 47 EMS calls. We had 2 vehicle accidents, one on Glenfield involving a single motorcycle, another one on Waterworks Road, car versus deer. It's that time of year. Between the exit of Mount Nebo and coming down, I think there was about 4 or 5 already hit just on 79. So please be mindful when you're driving. They're out jumping around. Other than that, one suspicious vehicle call turned out to be an Uber driver just waiting. Like I said, total 69 calls. That's all I have for this evening. Any questions?
Are there any questions from either commissioners or the audience?
He was asking if there's any questions. As the Chief of Police of Ohio Township, we service the communities here in Aleppo. I will take a moment. I say it every time that we come up here, and I do know my officers just was recently up here within the last several months doing a fraud demonstration and just discussing about how prevalent fraud cases are, especially here with the just different computer style things, phone style frauds. I can say to you, there is no local, state, or federal government agencies that is going to ask for Bitcoin or a gift card in any kind of payment, right? So a lot of times there are computer scams or phone scams or mail scams. If you didn't initiate the business, don't respond to it, okay? Any questions along that? Okay.
And the question we always have for the chief, is there anything we can do for him?
Just slow down. That would be great. I would appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Emergency management,
No report, that's a good thing.
Public Works,
Good evening. You all have it in your packet. We attended a Allegheny League of Municipalities class, different trends in public works. We also, as most of you that live in the manor know, the fog seal is complete. We had 7 roads tarred and chipped, and Swickley Heights Drive was tarred and chipped and fog sealed. We had to do some work on some of the equipment, especially our blowers, because it's getting to the point where the leaves are coming down like crazy. That's about it. Any questions?
any questions for Public Works? Okay, do I hear a motion in regard to the air company bid?
So moved.
No,
I'll
we have to read it.
I'll do it.
Quit touching the mic.
I know, I'm sorry. I motion to accept a bid from A Air Company in the amount of $12,179.54 to replace the rooftop HVAC unit on the township building and to enter into agreement for semi-annual maintenance service for all building units.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Communications.
I have, I'd like to share with, did I lose it? I don't know if I can get any closer. And if I touch it, okay. So the township has put out a great effort towards transparency of the meetings and putting them on YouTube and creating a digest for accessibility for the township. So I just wanted to read, we just decided to check our engagement numbers on the digest for the emails that are sent out. So 28 workshop and legislative digests were analyzed, and of those, 53 were opened in the email, and the number's the same about for workshop is 53%, legislative 52%, and then of those who open it, 19% are clicking on the topics for that, which is a pretty high engagement. I'm not sure exactly of the marketing numbers, but I believe anything over 10% is you're in really good shape for bulk email like we're doing for the Township Digest. So, and also of the topics, 100% of them are clicked on. So each of the meetings are divided into a topic for each topic. So all of it's being watched while it's there. So we're getting really great engagement. So did you have a question? Yeah, yeah. We sort of looked into it just to say, wow, I feel like a lot of people are engaging and reading it, but is that what's really happening or not? Yeah, MailChimp. Yep. So, okay, we just wanted to share.
Thank you. Planning and zoning.
I just wanted to give a little update about the last couple of things that have happened in the township for planning and zoning the last couple of months is the approval of the Gamma Pickleball Club, which is going to be a private club but open to memberships to the public. That's going to be housed in the Migrant Glass Building, which is the new large white building on Deer Run Road. That is a warehouse, a glass warehouse, but there's a section inside that's going to be turned into a pickleball club. So that was kind of a neat thing for Aleppo. And then another plan that came through for approval was a lot consolidation plan. There was a plan for prior townhouses that are no longer going to be developed, so the developer turned those 8 townhouse lots back into a single lot for thinking about what he's going to do in the future. And then as of last year, we were still in need of a zoning officer and a code enforcement officer, and we now have appointed both a zoning officer and a code enforcement officer for the township. The zoning officer reviews any proposals for building permits or any kind of development on your land to make sure it fits the zoning ordinance. And then our code enforcement officer investigates any kind of complaints, whether it's a property complaint or an activity complaint. So we're pleased to say that we have those positions filled now. So.
Any questions? For the zoning officer, we are using a consultant through the Quaker Valley COG. His name is Chris Rierick, and the contract is with the COG. They provide this service to provide a zoning officer. And then we are using someone named Clint Riley from Naira Engineers, which is a local engineering firm, to do our code enforcement work. Any further questions? Do I hear a motion regarding bill payments?
Motion to approve the September bill list in the amount of $40,182.83 to ratify, who is that? To ratify September prepaid bills in the amount of $121,393.80 and to ratify September payroll transfers in the amount of $19,053.73.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motions pass. Manager Patterson, would you give an explanation as to the next subject?
There is a sewer lift station right down the road on Deer Run Road. And it was put in as part of the township-wide sewer project about a little over 10 years ago. It needs some work and it needs to be reconfigured. So the Aleppo Township Authority sought a grant and received a nice grant to do a large portion of the work. The work is going to cost more than the grant funding, and so they are seeking additional funds in order to be able to complete the project. The authority is going to provide some funds, and they've approached the township to see if the board is willing to grant some of the sewer bond funds that the township has in order to help participate in the costs of the project. And so that's one of the things that we talked about last week was the board was going to consider using some of those sewer bond funds towards this project. These funds are kept in a segregated account. They're not part of our general fund and can really only be used for sewer purposes. And the bulk of those funds are used to pay down the debt for the bond debt for the cost of the overall project.
I would like to make a motion to approve the request by the Aleppo Township Authority for additional funding for the Deer Run Pump Station reconfiguration project as a reimbursement of project costs beyond the grant funding, to be shared equally with the authority in an amount not to exceed $125,000.
Any further discussion?
I have a question for the solicitor. Could you, in short order, describe the relationship between the township and the authority and the ownership of the sewer system and the obligation that that secures for our debt?
Sure. I guess I can use this, right?
Yeah.
Is it on? Yeah. So, sorry. So the township and the authority are two separate entities, but they obviously operate for the benefit of both of them operate for the benefit of the residents of the township. The authority, in this case, the authority is an operating authority. They operate the sewer, and we're just a sewer authority, right? No, we're water and sewer, sorry. The authority operates the water and sewer system for the township. The township, in this case, owns the system because when we went ahead and did the public sewer project, as Gwen pointed out, more than 10 years ago, in order to get the debt service that we needed to pledge, the township needed to pledge certain assets in the form of sewer facilities, and in order to be able to pledge them, they needed to own them. So as of this date, the township actually owns the township actually owns the sewer facilities, the system as such, and the authority operates that system for the township. As such, as the owner of the system, typically the municipality, in this case the township, would be responsible for making capital improvements to the system. So anything that would constitute a capital improvement would be the responsibility of the township. Anything that's related to routine maintenance and repairs of the system would be the responsibility of the authority as the operator. And that's the way the obligations are divided up. It's not always 100% clear what constitutes capital improvement and what constitutes maintenance and repair. So there are circumstances where the authority and the township cooperate in those situations with respect to those expenses. Aleppo is very fortunate to have an authority board and a board of commissioners who get along and who do cooperate on these projects where it is called for. Other municipalities aren't so lucky, but I think Aleppo has always enjoyed a good relationship between the two entities. Again, both serve the residents of the township. Thank you.
Any further comment or questions? And just to reemphasize what Manager Patterson said prior, the funds that we're contributing to this project are only from funds collected from sewer customers. All in favor of?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
There is no report. Well, yes, there is. There is currently one member, Brian, who is the new director, who has been and continues to be down in North Carolina. So he's doing logistics for DMAC. So he's supporting that outreach down there. So, and Quaker Valley Ambulance is fully staffed
Good.
as of the other day.
Any other comments or questions? Do I hear a motion regarding the intergovernmental cooperation?
I'll motion to adopt a resolution entering into an intergovernmental cooperation agreement by and between the members of the Quaker Valley Council of Governments to facilitate the reimagining of the Route 65 corridor for improvements to safety, placemaking, and connectivity.
Second.
Manager Patterson, could you explain this issue?
The Quaker Valley COG is a group of municipalities that are mainly centered along our section of Route 65. And they work, we as members work together on a lot of different issues. And they studied Route 65 as for safety issues, for improvement issues, for trying to make it a little bit more appealing along the roadway as a destination for things. And one of the recommendations in one of their studies was that all communities sign on to agree to participate in future opportunities. It's deliberately a little vague, but it is just saying we, the member communities, agree to help support the seeking of grants for more funding for improvements along the 65 corridor. So basically this resolution is, all the communities are going to be adopting it, agreeing to work together further for more studies of 65 and ways that we can get more state funding for projects.
Any further questions?
The question was about, are there any concerns about the train tracks that run along the river in 65 and trains?
In what regard? The condition, the safety.
So this agreement tonight, or this intergovernmental cooperation agreement, is something that is designed to help get more funding for studies like that. So this doesn't address any specific issue. This just says we want to work together to seek grants, and multi-municipal grants are definitely more favored than individual community grants.
So would there be opportunity for public to address that and have feedback into, so that, you know, if we wanted to make a comment and ask that that be included as a concern or something to study?
Gail's question was about will there be public comment opportunities for the train safety issue. And I think if we, you know, if the COG secures a grant and does study some of those things, there would be public comment period on that. I can also just take that concern back to the COG director and say, please add this to your list of things that people are concerned about.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Solicitor.
I have no report, but I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Any questions or
To be clear, the cooperation agreement does not obligate us to do anything in
Yeah.
particular.
Yes, that particular intergovernmental cooperation agreement would not commit or bind the township to any kind of financial obligation.
any questions for the solicitor? Unfinished business? New business?
I do have one thing. I operate a nonprofit within Aleppo that does a toy drive every year. So I have some signs, et cetera. If you want to post them in your church, if you want to post them wherever. We set up a free toy store. This year we're using the United Methodist Church because it's a huge, wonderful social hall. That's what we used last year. We served a little over 500 children, 293 families last year, and we're hoping to expand that. So if you know anyone at your church, anyone in your family, anyone in your acquaintances that need help with toys, it's walkingthetalk.net. I have some signs up here. If you want to take them and post them in your church, post them wherever, feel free to do so.
Thanks. Citizen participation. Tim. We'll get you a microphone.
Hello, my name is Mim Bezic, and I just found out something the other day that I thought I'd like to share with you in case you haven't heard it either, about it either. But the Swickley Valley Historical Society has put up a short history of every one of the 11 municipalities that make up the Quaker Valley School District. So I was very happy to see, and then of course Aleppo's first. All right.
Thank you. 101. It's a wonderful alphabet.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I want to know if Amy Rickert knows Bobby Rickert. My husband does. Oh, good. He used to be my student, so if you see him, tell him I said hello.
So we want to thank all of you for joining us. You're a very important part of Aleppo Township. We're happy to hold this meeting here once a year. And of course, anything that you need to comment on other than at this meeting, Manager Patterson is always available. So thank you very much, and this meeting is adjourned.